Good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to our last race of tonight in this second week of the Eblan Elixir League on the Potion Party flag set. My name is Xenocat. I am joined here in the booth tonight by Deathlike. How are you doing tonight, Deathlike?
Doing well. Just trying to survive the day, but really, I'm told I'm here for all the chocobos. Right? That all the chocobos are here.
Oh yes, we do have our race here between Fleury14 and Judgejoe. I'm double checking their teams right now because I have forgotten, but I believe. Actually, I don't think we.
I think one of them's Rydia's Rebels.
Rydia's Rebels versus Judgejoe on Rydia's Rebels, Fleury on what's the big Ordeals?
What is the big Ordeals? Do we have to do Ordeals?
Ordeals is a check that a lot of people don't do on this flag set, so it's fine.
But I like going up Ordeals. It's where the fun begins. Well, so, we don't have to.
Oh my gosh! Shoutouts to Judgejoe with the Xenoblade 3 names. I know those names.
Bro, I need to get around to playing Xenoblade. I've heard good things, so I guess. And
I can confirm, although I am very biased.
There are many songs added to the harp list to your name, so I don't think that's not a big hint. Who knows what it is? It's not clear who we're starting with, but with the objectives at hand, we're favoring. Let's see, Zot and Super Cannon. So, hoping to get some of it done. I'm thinking we
got Zot, Super Cannon, and we should have one more. Did that one not save?
Probably Moon Objective. They all blend.
There is one more objective, I believe.
At least it's a Rosa start. So we have our White Mage, but we don't have immediate exit, as that requires Zot. Hey, that's on the objective list, so more of incentive to go up the tower, but we still need that Earth Crystal. And as part of free enterprise, you have to remember, hey, we can still get into Zot and do the Zot 1 boss, just to see if D-Mist has anything. Yep, and I believe
our last objective that's not on the display is Burn Mist with the package, so that's a great package start.
That's immediate do, and you get the free character. So hard to skip that out off the bat.
Oh yeah, I mean Rose is a great starting character. We have a White Mage, we have Palom as our second, who is also wonderful to have. And access to a free third character if we want to sit through the package, although I'm not sure our runners will really care to sit through the package unless it's someone like a Cecil or maybe a Rydia.
Still worth a peek. Judgejoe's deciding, hey, you might as well peek. Fleury, though, going for the money, so that waterway pretty lucrative, and Judgejoe, hey, going. Literally looting Rydia's house. What? This? I mean, there's life savings. Rydia's life savings is stored here.
She doesn't need those.
Well, she is sharing, so I guess that's something. It's fair.
I mean, for all we know, she's not even in the seed, so we can take her life savings. It's fine.
It's something in this flex set. We are definitely guaranteed to do some shopping.
That is glass hats and headbands in Mist. Those are both very nice hats. Glass hats more for defense, headbands for the 5 strength and the all-important charm resistance. And Tella from package, do we keep him?
I think we just for now, having immediate exit which Rosa doesn't have is it makes sense for Judgejoe to do that, and
I guess this is an objective, so
that too. I mean, you're here, you might as well.
Yeah, you're here. It's an objective. You may as well take it. Tella's not a character I'm super excited to see on this flag set. I mean, he can be useful, absolutely.
I think Tella. I mean, there's certainly some use. At least early game. I mean, you don't have to run
early game exit. Getting warp early for the warp glitch in dwarf.
Oh yeah, Tella does have utility. So I mean, if you yeet Tella in a game, that's something. But Fleury had to do a complete reset.
Fleury does not want Tella, and oh no, Fleury did not save.
Yep. Always a reminder to save.
Always be saving. If you're gonna do something that you're thinking about resetting out of, save first.
Yeah, that's like maybe 5-10 seconds at most just to save, but reset just the whole sequence is
that was
3 seconds.
That lost Fleury about 2.5 minutes.
So yeah, all that looting, gotta reloot again.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, at the very least, it was pretty much only looting. So Fleury might know, like, hey, I didn't really get a lot of stuff in this area. Maybe I don't need to go here, but yeah, gonna have to reloot everything. And okay, we just have to fight Odin. The real king of Baron himself has decided to make it personally his mission to hunt down the traitorous Tella.
I mean, Tella has all the answers to the seed. That's why. At least that's my headcanon. But hey, it wasn't too bad. I mean, Palom has all the spells needed to finish off an Odin. Already starts at level 10. Has the basic spells. So did Palom gain a level? Because that didn't move the needle.
I don't think we got a level because
it's too low, probably, right?
That spot gives very little experience.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, a spot if it even gives. Well, I see a level on Palom, so yeah. So having Ice 2 at least will make even just going to Mount Hobbs a little easier. I mean, you only need 1 level for Palom to have at least a 2nd level elemental, and that's how it's pretty strong early game compared to a Rydia start where you need a immediate summon to make some headway. And hey, Judgejoe gets to check who's on there, and it's at Edge, so that's nice.
That is very nice indeed. If we can find that Sand Ruby, I'm sure Judgejoe will be eager to head back there.
Although I think I've had seeds where Sand Ruby doesn't show up on time, so it's nice to know the information, but you can always also just remember that
it's still good information because we only have 7 distinct characters in the seed. Knowing that Edge is guaranteed to be taking it 1 of those slots is very good.
I just don't expect the Sand Ruby to hand it to their.
Yeah, you might not get it from the Sand Ruby, and that's okay. But you know that that Edge is in the seed, and so you know that if you see 6 other characters across all the other character checks other than Edge, then you're not looking for anyone else.
Yeah, it's one of those things that also it's helpful for your shopping trips because if you know the character's there, it's like, hey.
Yeah, there's definitely a little more safety in buying equipment for him. Yeah.
Or just like prioritizing. Hey, just kind of put it in the back of your mind. Just keep tabs. There's a lot of really good deals in the shops, but especially with SWOW being on, so pretty much anything you could pretty much obtain.
This is a Pale Dim, which is not good for this party.
Yeah.
Palom is going to have a lot of fun trying to get through, being able to basically do nothing to Pale Dim because all of Palom's abilities at this point are elemental. Yeah. So we'll be here a little while.
Yeah, at least Rosa's gonna be able to do it, but Judgejoe, just remembered, likes all the elements, outside of Holy Elemental. So we'll just have to pass the turn. One thing Judgejoe could do is kind of gamble, but maybe not be worth it, is to use the recall. But you have a 3 out of 8 chance of an elemental to heal. Virus is on the pool, but then you have all these other spells.
But if you roll Fire 1, Ice 1, or Lit 1, you're gonna have to eat a counter.
That is the bigger gamble. Although I did not see a counter, so it must have been from recall. There is part of counter script, but it's kind of a lot of spell-based commands are kind of special, so it didn't actually trigger anything, which is nice, because if you used like a flame rod or actually cast the spell, like it's kind of like twin, really. Twin doesn't cause a magical counter to come through, so something like Baigen's wall would not be triggered. It's kind of nice as having a command that doesn't do anything that harms you in a way.
Yep. Well, we found a magma key in Antlion Cave, so that's good for Joe.
That's good. I think, especially with Tella, you have immediate way to get out. And although I'm obliged to walk it out, but you have Tella. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a time save from having Tella. Although Fleury might be able to save some time, more of that time, by not sitting through all the package sequence. Because if you complete the package as your last objective, you get the win very early in that cutscene. And there's another Tella on Hobbs, so yeah, we didn't really need package Tella.
Yeah, it is one of those key knowledge pieces. Like as soon as you bomb Rydia's village with the package, yeah, you're just done. You don't even have few more. It's basically saving of time in terms of the sequences. So makes a lot of sense. But hey, no need to get second Tella if you already have first Tella. So as dupe characters, not allowed. So your first Tella is the only Tella that matters.
Yep, Fleury trying to take on traps in Eblan Castle, but I don't think Palom is going to be fast enough to make these Mad Ogres stoppable or swoonable with that Assassin Dagger.
Yeah, the timing has to be so that they've already queued their punches. They're stopped by the hourglasses. The punches go through, and then their empty ATBs allow for the Assassin Dagger to proc immediately. Because having an empty ATB means status afflictions immediately, more likely than not, if not almost perfectly at higher levels, proc.
Yeah. And the thing with this is, if the Mad Ogres were RA1, this would be fine. We could get the swoon procs off, no problem, because they'd be guaranteed to get their punches off after the hourglass went off. But these Mad Ogres are not quite. None of these enemies are going to be quite RA1 with our current anchoring setup. So
yeah, I think, and also this property also affects your team as well. If the enemy has status procs, so we're talking about the skull and Staleman chests. So both skulls have curse, Staleman have sleep. So if your turn happens and then they punch you, pretty good chance you'll be afflicted. It's a fun thing that it works both ways.
So yeah, this is going to be annoying for Fleury. We'll see what he decides to do here. If he can either find the other trap chest, which, although I don't know that would work, I don't think we can swoon that one either, or yeah, no, we're just leaving. Yeah,
the Castle Eblan is, for some runners, a good place to loot. It serves two purposes. One, identify pretty much the general location of the trap chests, but also because it is a high tier area, the money provided in the area will be higher than average. There is a benefit to doing it early, though you'll end up resetting quite a bit. But that's the kind of price you pay for doing it. That's certainly a choice, and not the worst of choices.
Okay, I've been corrected in chat. It's Palom being slow that's the problem. Palom is not RA1 to the Mad Ogre's RA1. which is the real problem. The Mad Ogres are RA1. Palom is not RA1. He's too slow. He can't get the hourglass off fast enough. You would need to have a character at RA1 to get that hourglass off in time for any of the Eblan traps. And while the Assassin Dagger does make Palom a little bit faster, it's not fast enough.
Oh yeah, if they've kind of lodged into their punches before getting off the hourglass, then they have a little ATB gain. It's just it's that sliver is enough for kind of effective protection or at least resistance to it. So it's one of those things that you do have to be you have to be like Heroine Rope faster, but except it can't be on Rosa because she's the hero. So it's not it's not that simple.
No, Heroine Rope on Rosa would slow the Mad Ogres down a bit, but they'd still be faster than she would be. So
hey, some rare looting at Fabul. It's there. It's a public treasure.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty quick, honestly. I don't hate it. Judgejoe did get the Baron key for defending Fabul, so we have found another key item. It's not an objective. It could lead to something, but
I think it's still worth doing. I mean, if you've
maybe. I mean, it's a character check, which I guess is the big thing from it.
Yeah, I mean, and you also have some decent access to some quite a bit of looting opportunity if you decide to loot the right tower.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to do it before getting Virus on Palom.
Oh yeah, certainly. Virus is the kind of the key spell. Obviously, the kind of a gate spell for Palom. So it would take care of bosses. Had he paled him later, would have had no trouble taking care of that. So yeah, Virus is usually kind of the starting point of where Palom really gets there.
I mean, it's such a good spell. It's has no spell delay. So unlike all the level 2 elemental spells, it's going to go off much faster. It has twice the base spell power of the level 2 elemental spells, which means that it will do about the same damage as a level 2 elemental spell that is hitting a weakness. Not a quad times weakness, so like Ice 2 is still better for Flame Dog and Rubicant, for example, and Lit 2 is still better for Odin. But for most generic elemental weaknesses, if you've got level 2 elemental, if you're choosing between level 2 elemental spells and Virus, just use Virus. It's 5 more MP for the same damage, but much less cast time, but no cast delay.
Yeah, Virus has always been a staple of early level spells. It just is. Even if Rydia didn't have any summons, you wait till level 26 to get Virus, and then Rydia that takes a while to get there. Is just a staple. You can't live without it in the early game. It's just
Palom getting Virus at only level 19 is huge for him, and it's honestly one of those spells that I still keep around close to the top of my spell list after Palom learns Quake, because Quake has a fairly long animation. Virus has a very quick animation and also no delay and costs less MP, and sure, it doesn't do quite as much damage, and it's only really better if it's a single target and you're sure that Virus will kill, but meanwhile we find a spoon from the Flame Dog chest. That's exciting. Judgejoe maybe we'll see Edward. We do know Edge is in the seed, so it is useful.
I mean, yeah, so it's pretty much the dart that you can reset out of for the purpose of, hey, boss not, typical. Does this boss give a key item that you want? But if they say probably demist or CPU, but although we don't. I
don't think we really care about going all the way up to the top to check that Magus Sister spot.
It could be worth it if it was actually demist.
If it was demist, it could be, but the odds are so low. Whatever.
Well, we know we're magma key, so this is kind of not critical. I mean, if we're still hunting for underground access, it would still be a thing. Although Hook is still at large, and
I mean, for Judgejoe, I would like. There's still Eblan trap chest. There's Baron Inn, Baron Castle, Mount Ordeals even. I would do all of those things before hunting for Demist at Maga Sisters.
Yeah, that is kind of typically why it's last locationed. So it's an interesting routing choice. I mean, but getting an early key item with at the Flame Dog chest, which is it's reasonably safe if you can dispatch the Flame Dog even after it flames you. I mean, it's relatively safe. So that's Fleury has the advantage of having done a bit more shopping, has a better bow and arrow combo for Rosa, and is going to be through this paladin much faster due to the fact that Rosa's doing like 400 damage. Yeah, I mean, there are times early Rosa kind of has to carry the seed at least a little early on just to get Palom online. But once Palom gets virus, Palom gets more stable. But we have dupe Palom in the inn, so no added character. I mean, we might be stuck with these three characters for a while. So having all these dupes can be problematic, but not a deep concern. But this is not going to be bad.
Oh yeah, hi TKC. I forget how much damage this does, but this is I don't think Palom survives. No, he does not.
Well,
Rosa has 5 hit points. Tella has 6. This is fine.
Yeah, this is gonna be a reset out.
We're fine.
The range has to go so with, but that's it.
That's too much damage. Rosa has died. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I don't like. This is too much of a gamble. This is gonna be a spot to be faded, unfortunately. So
yeah, I don't think we come back for that for a while.
Yeah, there are just some spots.
I would say I'd come back to that once Palom got Quake. Maybe I'd be like, okay, we can just
tank it. Yeah.
Knock him down with a couple big spells. Then it's like fine, but
this is the time to when the bosses are too strong, it is not a shame to fade. At least DKC won't. I don't think gates anything anyway.
It can't gate underground access. It can gate. That could be gating our darkness crystal.
So we're not in a rush.
Or our Earth Crystal, for example, or a tower. It could be gating anything, any of our actually useful key items because we found the magma key.
Yeah, so that's a good kind of reprieve. We can always come back to it. It just needs to be able to survive the attacks. So this is fine. We are reminded, hey, starting Bahamut shouldn't be a problem.
Yep. Fleury is now going shopping in the underground. Finding a couple things here in Tamra.
Was there a job dwarf visit? I think I might have missed.
No, there was no job dwarf visit.
Seat. This is not a valid seat. Did not check job dwarf.
Yeah. I mean, if I had accidentally reset out of my first 2.5 minutes, I understand.
Yeah. That time,
I'm not going to hold that too much against Fleury, because Fleury undoubtedly feels behind and has felt behind ever since that reset.
Well, I mean, we'll find out if that reset actually was that much too detrimental. But there's plenty of time. I mean, this is early in the season.
It's still early. We still don't know where things are. 2.5 minutes is a lot to give up, but this flag, the nature of this flag set is that your go mode could be anywhere. You just have to choose the right option. So, for example, Fleury could just completely skip Baron, and Baron Castle could just end up taking forever and leading to say like if this leads to the Twin Harp, and then Judgejoe chases the Twin Harp, then all of a sudden, and Fleury just doesn't do those things because there's nothing else in them. and the character is just a duplicate, then all of a sudden Fleury has saved a whole bunch of time, a whole lot more time than he lost to the reset.
Yeah, sometimes there will be spots that end up becoming a dud, and which is a time consumer. You know, any objective that is completed that doesn't actually contribute is gonna be a time sink. So no dupe character or a key item, or not even getting a key item at the Baron pot after defeating the Kinazo spot, which holds the dolls. Oh, a lot of fun.
Oh, hi, Antlion and Golbez. That's exciting.
One is free-ish, the other is
well,
new.
I mean, free-ish, but it's very fast. You're gonna have to use Piggy or Piggy size strats, and with this party, you really want size, and we don't have size.
Yep.
You are not going to get Veils off in time without Piggy size.
Yeah, that means
it will not happen.
That
spot is too fast.
It's incentivized Mount Ordeals run regardless, but Judgejoe finds a Rydia, so off to looking for Blarg, or even...
Yeah, that is definitely a valuable character out of Baron Castle, if nothing else.
But we do find a source of power.
Stardust rods and Heron robes in Dwarf Castle, so yeah, we're buying some of those.
Yeah, a lot of these tier 5 item equipment, like Heron robe,
and that's another character from Baron Castle. We get 2 for the price of 1 with Edge showing up.
It's not an objective we need, but I mean, you have your party together, it's gonna be online much more quickly, and you have at least, I think Val is still at large, so Edge will be able to help. Of course, with Rosa having the aim command does wonders as it ignores evade. Val's spin gives her immense amount evade, where you normally do not see in a monster. The only other boss that even touches that is actually Kinazo when he goes into a shell, hiding in shell. With Val's protection, spin protection, aim just ignores it, doesn't care. As long as Rosa is not in the middle slot, then there's less to worry about.
Yep. Anyway, Fleury is coming across Dark Elf. Turns out white arrows are really bad for Dark Elf. I believe Fleury saved before this Baron in. I hope so, because Fleury is going to have to get through DKC before a wave goes out, because I don't think anyone but Tella can survive a dark wave.
That's even if he survives. The randomness can reach those.
Tella might survive a dark wave. I should put it that way.
Yeah, but then we'll proceed to fall. He's not going to be fast enough.
Yeah, no, this is not great. Rose is not doing a whole lot of damage. I don't think she's going to get that many turns.
Yeah, the biggest.
Okay, 900 is pretty good. Oh, we're healing Rosa. I don't think that's enough, but I appreciate that you're trying.
It's not the worst idea, honestly. You have to at least try with the one offering.
I don't think 300 is higher than HP is higher than the minimum roll from DKC here.
Oh, if that gets off, it might be enough.
But we may have low-rolled agility. We are, I think, 1 shot away from winning.
That is the best one buffering.
That is Fleury through DKC without a single dark wave. And we get the Luca key. Hooray! That's useless.
Yes, because we're gonna warp through all of that. Warp glitch being on, so not so useful. Thanks, DKC. You did something. But that was a very impressive.
That was a very impressive fight. Definitely. It looks like the Judgejoe stream is frozen. This is fine. We'll get. Oh, it's back. Okay.
It's catching up. It's fine. But we do see Bahamut. It's Bahamut's at Baron. So if Judgejoe at some point goes back to Baron. We'll stumble upon best spell for Rydia. That's so, but needs to still get the cash to do it. Probably not sure how much money he's collected. Probably spent some of that money at Dwarf anyway. So there's.
Yeah, I think Fleury was pretty low on money. But both of our runners are converging on Ordeals. Want to get that Tela online, which I think makes sense. It's a decent source of experience. You want Tela online for Warp Glitch, although Joe does have Rydia.
Well, that's with Rydia we'll have some the benefit of Slingshot to get some of
getting a little bit of extra experience and. Oh boy, we have some guards. Are they the fun guards or are they the... Okay, it's the fun guards.
Are they really the fun guards? I thought the other guards are more fun. The officer...
No, these are the fun guards because they're actually somewhat dangerous.
Oh, that's your definition of fun. Okay, well then...
Yeah. These are the fun guards.
Oh no, I consider the other ones fun. These are...
The other guards are easy. They're like boring. You don't even have to think for them. These guards are exciting. And Fleury has an elven bow, so goodbye guards.
Yeah, these guards are mages. And the hint being that they cast magic upon any sort of counter. So
yeah, we're seeing the value of having of going shopping and getting some of this like high-powered. And taking advantage of these weaknesses. And now we're bringing back the Artie bow out because Mylon and friends are here to surprise us on the back attack.
It's interesting when you try to swap a weapon, especially with an Artemis bow gaining agility, but the kind of the agility of it is set beforehand because Rose is the hero, and with the Elven bow she has no agility game. Now she'll be much faster at this point because of the swap. Because there's
I mean, for this spot it didn't really matter that much. This spot's not that fast, and she's already got a Heron robe on, so it really didn't matter. And it's just faster than doing a separate menu to take the Elven bow off at the end of the previous fight and swap back to the Artie bow.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem later on. I mean, overworld bosses, Heron robe will dominate, but when we get to faster bosses, it's gonna actually a penalty to everyone else, more or less. Edge can keep up, but that's kind of about it. Yeah, so that Heron robe, good for now, might be detrimental later. It's good to have it in the inventory, but if the agility of your characters aren't fast enough, at least faster than Rosa, especially with the faster bosses, it's going to be a problem, and you're going to have to take some of that equipment off.
Fleury quickly saving just to make sure before heading into the changing room.
Waiting for that key item because it might be useful. Hey, it's Harp.
I hope that's useful. I want that to be useful. Can that be useful, please?
I think I played a seed that I ended the seed with Twin Harp. I mean it can still certainly happen again. But Elven Bow will take care of this boss as getting rid of the.
Yeah, it turns out Elven Bow has actually been the MVP of this Ordeals.
I mean, it could have been the trifecta if Azure showed up on the mountain, but we've seen it earlier. But yeah, if all the mages showed up here, Elven Bow would have been super MVP of Mount. I mean, what Ordeals? What?
Although Rosa probably was fine to just one-shot them all without the Elven Bow. I think it was a little bit overkill for the Magus Sisters.
There is no such thing as overkill for the Magus Sisters. I can't.
There is when you're doing like 4 times Cindy's max HP. At that point, you could have just stuck with the Artie bow. You'd been fine. But that is both of our runners through Ordeals with the Twin Harp. We will see if either of them ever decide to check that, or if they just say, you know what, the Twin Harp can sit there forever, and it definitely won't be required. Absolutely, it's not going to have the Darkness Crystal. And Demas isn't going to be like at the Twin Harp holding on to like the Earth Crystal or something. That would be ridiculous.
Are you wishing for it? You're sounding. It sounds like you really want it to happen. Whatever possible reason could that be?
Well, Fleury is headed over to. Looks like Fleury is going to maybe check the Flame Dog chest.
I mean, we have underground access. It's not, but
Yeah, I think is probably hoping for a little bit more power. I would maybe, and since Palom is so close to Virus, maybe looking to get that before heading to Eblan or Baron. Either way.
I mean, you could still gamble Eblan with Tella. I mean, we have Tella's all of the spells, but I mean, if you want to gamble with Stone, and you know, some runners will die by it. Some will openly say, why would you do this to me? I mean, but I like the gamble. You have to, gamble to do it with, especially if you kind of in more dire need for the equipment. So, but Judgejoe is going to try to kind of be cheeky, try to get a few Bacchus wines while everyone's taking a quick nap. It's not. I mean, Mad Ogres are still going to be punchy regardless.
Yeah, and these steals are not going his way, unfortunately. Mad Ogres are kind of hard to steal from. Oh, there's a Bacchus finally.
I mean, we're working with base edge level. I think the Mad Ogres are like level 30 something.
They definitely have a bit of a level advantage, which does make it harder for edge to steal at base level.
So yeah, that's, I mean, not impossible to steal. It's just less than ideal. But hey,
yeah, just harder. But we are getting some now. Fleury dispatches the Flame Doggo.
Will claim the spoon.
Does not get a level on Palom though.
Yeah, with this flag set, the only source of XP is bosses and trap chests, and it's one of those things you sometimes might be worth thinking of gambling. Just taking one Eblan chest.
And oh look, if you went to Eblan, there's the Earth Crystal just chilling in Eblan. Why not? Just go to Eblan Castle. Don't do Flame Dog. Why would you do Flame Dog before Eblan?
Hoping for that one-off chest does something.
Both runners getting punished and having to double dip Zot.
Yeah, I'm more tempted to do Twin Harp if Earth, or at least even Baron is available. There's easy. It saves time on a routing perspective, but it's like kind of these one-off checks. You know, they can be a kind of a rabbit hole, and they might not turn into something worth doing. I mean, the Eblan checks are kind of more lucrative, but also more dangerous. But with the starting set of at least 3 hourglasses, I mean, if you really need to use them now, it's a perfect time to do it. But save, maybe worth saving if you for more difficult chests, like say the hairdryer chests on the moon.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm not, although with the hairdryer chest, you don't really need to worry that much because you can just throw a glass hat on Palom and then Quake.
Of course, gotta reach Quake first, though. That is the trick.
Well, we're gonna do that in Eblan. See, Judgejoe just learned it.
Great.
Anyway, I think there's something coming up as we get the shiny crystal that we can show to all of our friends out of that chest. Now we can cast Mega Nuke with an item. Hooray!
We'll take a brief...
What do you mean that glitch was patched years ago?
Well, we'll take a quick break because music's coming on. That was appreciated. That's appreciated, but not not again. Not
No
again.
progression, sadly. Oh well.
It's So if you notice that the using aim didn't trigger the wall virus counter that you normally see when you punch them, but aim isn't considered the fight command, so it's it's
gotta be specifically the fight command. They don't counter. It's not a physical counter. It's just the fight command. So anything else is fine.
But aim still does trigger the damage counter. Even recall, if Tella still had it, if cast the spell that did damage, counters the HP damage counters.
Wait, oh my goodness, Judgejoe, are you also going to give us music?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
An encore.
I can't believe it. We're getting two runners. Two of our runners are both doing music, even though it is not required whatsoever, after they already know that it's not their underground access.
It's for the fans.
With a mostly mage party. I love this.
Yeah, they're having a mage party, especially for the fight, is usually not recommended. But Rosa is the one who has to carry the offense for the team. Though Judgejoe in this case has an edge, so literally and figuratively, where Edge can shoulder the load here too.
It could have the way to the moon from Judgejoe's perspective, but Judgejoe also has Dwarf Castle, Warrior's Chest, all of Lower Babel, minus the Super Cannon room at this point. There's a lot of other very viable options. Plus Sylph Cave. Sylph Cave is a place that exists that isn't usually very valuable, but it does exist. So I feel like I should mention it at least.
Sylph Cave has the most opportunity with the seven trap chests, but I think
the expected value is on key items from Sylph Cave is very low. It's about 1.5 key items on average in all of Sylph Cave trap chests. For reference, that is barely less than the expected value from clearing Eblan Castle. Eblan Castle is 3 chests. Sylph Cave is 7.
I'm more tempted to do. I would be more tempted to do Keyless Tower instead.
Keyless Tower is great. Oh, absolutely. Keyless Tower is a great place to check. I think the expected value on Keyless Tower is higher than Sylph.
We're playing some music now.
Oh yes.
Judgejoe did his version of beating them up. I think Sky Marshall pointed out the Fire 3, using Fire 3 for the fight. So this spot, the dragons will have almost max damage, magic defense.
254, I think, magic defense.
But they have, the fire weakness allows
the level 3 elemental spells have a spell power of 256, which is, 254 will take out most of that.
Yeah, but that weakness compensates for
the
that.
Weakness, the weakness doubles the effective spell power. So Fire 3, instead of having 256, would essentially have 512. And all of a sudden, if you subtract off the 254 magic defense from, because the way magic defense works, it applies to the base spell power before it gets multiplied by how many spell rolls you get. So all of a sudden, instead of multiplying like 2 by however many spell rolls, you're multiplying like 256. That's like actually somewhat effective.
Yeah, it's the damage effectively becomes like exposing vanilla. If you did vanilla Kanazo, you see thunder, you see like the 3 on it. It's about the same amount of damage. Might be a little less, but anyways, it's effective enough to take care of one D-Lunar as that that spot. Two monsters at that spot splits the HP, so good enough to dispatch a D-Lunar straight up, and that's very intelligent play there.
Yeah, you'll be able to do at least a little bit of damage with that. Anyway, Judgejoe is now climbing the Tower of Zot to go work on that objective. We'll see if there's any value from this. We do have another Sparkle.
Oh, hey, it's Blarg.
Oh, neat. Let's see if we see what Blarg's Witchburn is.
I'm hoping it's Charm. Hope for Charm.
Charm would be amazing.
Because it also stops Berserk and it also causes the thing, but
Tornado is not that exciting.
Ooh,
it doesn't matter if we're... Oh, wait, that's
hard.
That's not weak, that's Tornado. Oh.
No, Tornado is more like Wave. It's like a weaker Wave. But at this spot...
We'll take it. We'll take that. It knocked down Tella and Rydia, and if we hadn't done a lot of damage, it would have been the whole party.
Yeah, surprise.
Okay, we take Tornado. That is an appropriately rude.
Yeah, can't even block it. It can't be blocked, so you can't reflect. So that's the problem. And that's why Witchburn. I not know every spell, but when you know the spell hurts, it's like oh no.
Oh yeah. I will say I have seen some truly nasty Witchburns as a result of this tournament.
I mean, Tornado doesn't really come up that often. It is
HP based, and this spot just has kind of a lot of HP because it's 3 Magus Sisters all combined.
I mean, Tornadoes, you see them from the regular.
Oh yeah, you see them from like really low level enemies, so like you don't even think about it. Yeah. Fleury just tore through the dolls with the Stardust Rod, which is actually super helpful. Now has Rydia will be probably picking up the edge, and already has a Masamune for that edge to wield from Sheila 1.
I mean, Judgejoe has found a Porum might be interesting to take into the party.
And there's another Palom, so it's fine. The twins were here in the Tower of Zot. No big deal.
See, this is what happens when you let the murder child control the other one.
And yeah, I'm fine with this play. We don't need Tella. Tella is irrelevant. We can just take Porum instead.
This is one of those situations Tella is really useful, but then there's a limits to Tella where
at this point Tella is going to be slower than anyone else that we take. Tella also, we have Exit now. Rosa has learned Exit. He's not an Exit mage. We have Warp because Rydia's learned Warp.
Yeah, so we have like a lot of the utility that we would have had. So
we have enough black mages that we don't need Tella's black mage utility, and Porum will still be a good second white mage. Like Tella kind of is just not useful for this party.
But there's also some other additional benefits. You can use if you don't want to use the heroine robe on Rosa because she's the hero of the seed, you can give that heroine robe to Porum, and she can be doing all the
Porum can do all the physical fighting.
Yeah, this is like there are times when you have both Porum and Rosa that you have to decide who's the healer and who's going to murder all the things. So this is this is the opportunity where Porum can shine because hey, Rosa can't have it because you don't want to screw up your anchoring situation. So someone has to take the point, and Porum has to be it, and that's fine because she's going to also learn the spells at a slower rate, like Cure 3 and Cure 4. So and Rosa's fine for doing that particular job anyways. So this is fine.
Mm-hmm. And oh my goodness, that's go mode.
We'll have to find the grind, though. This also means we'll have to try to get some more trap chests to do the grind, really. Like,
I mean, it depends. I mean, we don't really need a grind for Golbez. We can take Golbez as is right now.
Yeah, that's free. But it's like, you got probably want. I mean, Outline probably be faded and just take on.
Yeah, I could definitely see leave Antlion alone for now. You go up to the moon, see what's up there, because honestly, the Cape Bahamut spot is not that scary.
I mean, the only difficult bosses that are still on the table left is actually Alt Gauntlet. That is.
Yeah, there is always the chance. There is the chance of a very rude Alt Gauntlet showing up and making Judgejoe reconsider. But I think Judgejoe is pretty much on the path, whereas Fleury is doing Sylph Cave trap chests, and we know that unfortunately he's going to need to go back to Eblan Castle because that Tower of Zot being an objective and leading to the Darkness Crystal is hard required.
Yeah, it's kind of the way the things are panning out. Earth Crystal was in a trap chest, right? So there's
Earth Crystal was in Eblan.
So
in Eblan Castle, in one of the trap chests there. So
sometimes you're thinking it might make sense to fade key item dense spots for Cade Trap, such as Eblan Castle. But it's definitely not gonna pay off for Fleury finding this late. I mean, once Fleury finds it, it does. Even with that late start, that might not make the difference at this point.
Yeah, and Fleury doesn't even have Quake yet, so I think was feeling a little bit torn on where to go, noticing that he doesn't have Quake. I'm not sure if he even has a Bahamut Orb yet. There is a free one in Eblan Castle as well. But I don't know that...
Yeah. Doesn't have the levels to use it. That's the problem.
No, we don't have the levels to use it yet. Palom should learn Quake soon. From this chest.
Yeah, definitely from this chest,
I assume.
Probably bought a second Stardust Rod for Rydia. Then be much quicker especially without Quake being available. But hey, it's maybe we'll stumble onto some of the stuff we've been talking about. Maybe a Stardust Rod.
I mean, we could always stumble across a tower key, which would let Fleury skip one of our bosses.
Yeah, the few things that will save Fleury is getting essentially doing super cannon, as a Judgejoe doesn't have really an incentive to do it.
Tower key, if we find
Forge,
both halves of Forge, say we got some really nasty bosses up on the moon, that could buy Fleury back a little bit of time.
But I think Judgejoe is just looking for the Warrior's chest, just to get the grind on.
Just to make sure. I mean, I definitely am in favor of this. Like, yes, you're in go mode, but what if you just find the tower key here?
Yeah.
I did realize the one disadvantage of Judgejoe's party. Without Tella, we no longer have float.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Float is. I mean, I've been watching enough of the free enterprise community. Float, no, it's like float. What is float? Don't care. Just walk over all the damage.
Float is the spell that Fleury is using in Sylph Cave.
Certainly. I mean, but like this isn't stopping Joe, and Joe knows that is the only chest with the vanilla spot chest that has the
It's a vanilla location for those warriors. That is Excal number 2 from the Sylph Cave.
I think there's still one character at large that's left.
There is, yeah, we do still have one character out in the world somewhere that we don't know.
But yeah, I think Judgejoe's, though indirectly, Judgejoe's trying to find the 10th key item to double XP, which is kind of a good side effect of.
Oh, that is true. Judgejoe only has 9 key items, so. Or Judgejoe has 9 key items, so if he gets that 10th key item, he will get doubled experience from then on, which is very nice.
Very valuable, especially with this mage-heavy party.
Oh yeah, I mean, Rydia with Blarg doesn't need it as much, but. And really, Palom, we're never going to see Nuke. Like, no. Palom is probably as good as he's going to get.
Quake is just extra bonus damage, but as long as Porum gets Cure 3 and Blink, you're mostly fine. At least Blink first, Cure 3 be a little bit later, but that's fine.
Yep, and that is a Legend Sword out of the Warrior's chest, so that's half a Forge.
Are we getting the Adamant Rock here? There's a... that free chest?
The free chest, I believe Fleury checked.
Oh, okay. Well then,
yeah, it's just a lightsaber, so no Adamant Rock there. Although if Fleury finds the Adamant Rock in the Sylph Cave, might be able to stumble across that forge.
Yep. The ghosts have a kind of a nasty sequence of attacks. Outside of the fire too, there's the punch and then the sleep. 2 of it taken care of with a mute bell. So that's
they're rude. For sure, and it's not an Excal. We can use that one.
Yeah, want to get Rosa off the heroine robe and give. Although giving Rydia though.
Now we're gonna give Rydia some defense so that Rydia doesn't die instantly to everything, which I think is fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Although I've actually liked the idea sometimes having Tella as backup white mage. You have a white robe. And if you have a life staff or even a lunar silent staff, it's kind of
right now Tala doesn't have the MP for that. He's been on float duty.
Well, I do, but it's a nice option. But yeah, float duty. Tala has a job.
Yes, it's very important.
And Cure 4 you can only cast Cure 4 twice for Tella naturally. That's 40 MP.
Yeah.
So it eats MP pretty quickly. That's why the Soul's drops are useful.
Yep.
I don't think there's no size available. There may be Piggy, but we have only Edge as a fighter, and Judgejoe's thinking about really want.
Oh, yep. Getting ready for the Antlion fight.
This is interesting.
We can get through this with darts.
But Edge has to live through it, so Blink. You have 2 white mages, have Blink, so that should solve most of it. But Edge has to survive it ultimately. This might be tough.
Ooh, that was a lunar staff for Fleury. No value there.
Maybe might stumble onto the pan in Sife's Cave. It has happened once at a time. It's happened to me, like a pan, especially a pan on the path to getting to Yang.
And unfortunately, Fleury did leave one chest behind in the back of Sylph Cave, in that Sylph Treasury. So we'll see if that has value. I expect Fleury's going back for it. Wow. I would have expected just start clearing the path to... Okay, we're reconsidering. Yeah, we don't know that chest was trapped, Fleury. Let's clear the path that leads to the Sylphs and Yang in the bed. And then if you're missing a trap chest, then you know where it is. But we'll ignore it for now.
Yeah, when you're clearing Sife's Cave, there's just a lot of treasure chests everywhere. If I'm clearing Sife's Cave, I like clearing the pan side of things, just because kind of peace of mind. but that's the kind of grind that Fleury does need to get rid of having enough MP to just blarg all the things.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of just not worrying about the back of Sylph Cave ever, because Sylph Cave is the last resort check for me. The value per time is quite low on Sylph Cave. It's maybe a little bit, maybe slightly better than Harp and Baron Castle, but it's pretty low.
Yeah, I do. It's just Sylph Cave is like the kind of a last location, like kind of like Zot is early last locationing. Sylph's Cave is also good for last location, even though, yeah, you have potential for all the key items, but potential that there are just a lot more womps in your path. I mean, there certainly will be seeds rolled that Sylph's Cave might have all the things that you need, but when you kind of play enough seeds, you might lean that way. And if you're risk taker, you could just roll your way, and you might have the advantage if you do this. But I think the probability of that happening is not as high as one would think.
Yeah. HP ran out kill on the Toad Lady. So through that. Judgejoe does have this Antlion fight under control, somewhat. And oh look, it's a third Excalibur from Sylph Cave.
This seed is telling you have all the darts you needed. Drain spears, buying drain spears for darts are great, but what about Excals?
Yeah, we'll just give you Excals. It's fine. You can have all of the darts you want in Sylph Cave.
Yeah, with the extra safety net, Porum is gonna be a better blink caster than Tala. Just will have more HP. Will be you can use a Heron Robe to get her to blink herself. Initially, it's just like she will have
and oh, that's cute. That's a vanilla Leviathan summon.
Yep. Someone wants the vanilla. I know. I mean, went all this way to learn. Right now, kind of it's a wash. Really, it's a wash.
Yeah, we don't need that. But Judgejoe is going for Piggy Strax versus Golbez.
Yeah. So, a fun thing about this fight. We know that hold gas is guaranteed to apply paralysis, but magical status priority. The thing is, yes. Piggy is higher on that list than paralysis. Paralysis is actually surprisingly pretty low on the ladder. Like
paralysis is super low. It takes priority over like Berserk, I think.
Berserk is the lowest of them all. Surprising. Even sleep is low. Charm is pretty low. So there's a bunch of spells like Venom, pretty popular spell to use for this fight.
Poison is, I believe, the highest priority status effect that doesn't kill you.
Unless you've touched all the damage tiles and then
don't venom yourself at 1 HP, and that's the last trap chest for Fleury. So Fleury is done with the Sylph Cave. Whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, that'll be unfortunate. Realizing the next best place will be Eblan Castle or the tower. Not having the tower keep might lead towards Eblan, but
we're going to Baron. I think this is to buy Bahamut. We got 3 Excals, a Stardust Rod, a Lunar Staff, some other things.
Not bad loot by itself, though. Not by they're pretty good loot. It's totally not what we're looking for at this point.
Oh yes, a white shirt. That was in there. There's one other chest that I can't remember.
Cannot remember what everything was.
It was not important.
It probably wasn't at this point. We'll now stumble on to the warrior chest for.
At least the Stardust Rod was useful. We did need one of those for Rydia. And Fleury's headed Feymarch, which, I mean, is good. There's... Oh, Artie Arrows. That's the last item.
There it is.
Artemis Arrows.
Oh, yeah.
So Fleury will at least get this Legend Sword and then get to deal with Golbez and Antlion.
Probably more likely to do Golbez first.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason not to do Antlion first in Fleury's position.
I mean, at this point, you want to do more safe, kind of more safe.
Oh, thanks, Golbez. Thank you.
Ha ha ha! You've got a summon you've already had from the beginning because you
It
wanted
was
that
for
progress.
sale in Baron. It was in Eblan Castle, and now it's here too.
The jokes the seed has. But I think at this point it's more than enough XP and levels to just go to the moon. There's not much stopping. Although, there's definitely not much stopping Judgejoe to do the spots required to complete the seed. I mean, outside of bosses that might be really nasty, like Baigen, that will definitely or Demist that might slow him down. I think Baigen and Demist are pretty much still at large. So at the Bahamut spot, that can be problematic.
Yeah, I mean, there's still the chance that there's something like an Alt Gauntlet at Ogopogo. That would be exciting.
That too, yeah.
That is still on the table.
But these
we have
blocks,
not seen our Alt Gauntlet, but I don't think Cape Bahamut's going to actually pose that much of a threat. Other than short of DKC, who we've already seen, I don't think there's any bosses there that are actually that scary for Judgejoe's party.
Maybe Dark Imps?
Maybe.
I mean, because there's no free boss. We can't, like, the bosses, like...
They have the
boss.
trouble is that spot isn't that fast.
Slow, slower than kind of average, kind of, in terms of...
It's going to be faster than the mages, but it's, if we have a Heroine Robe, the Heroine Robe character will be faster. Edge is definitely faster than that spot.
Yeah. Like, Heroine Robe, Porum will probably...
Oh yeah, they would outspeed the spot. 100%. Just raw agility wise, they would outspeed the spot.
I've liked that when you especially with a Heroine Robe like off hero character, you get like an opportunity to cast slow on like CPU. Just small. I mean, probably might not be the most helpful, but there's some like sometimes you can get any spell off from Porum as long as he's learned it pretty quickly. That's how strong the Heroine Robe is late game.
Yeah, the Heroine Robe is just such a strong item, and Fleury is now doing Dwarf. There's our Baigens, so that's not a concern for Judgejoe.
Yeah, but Baigen, with this spot, it's kind of tricky this spot, but Fleury with all those levels should be no problem. Fleury, but Judgejoe's getting
Oh, that is kind of spicy. I'll give it that. Seed is trying.
I like seeds that gives you a lot of intestinal fortitude.
The seed is putting up a fight with this Ogo at Cave Bahamut, because that is quite rude.
I mean, you have the initial double big wave mixed in with the single big wave, and then eventually going back to the beginning double big wave. There'll be some punches in between. So this is not a trivial spot, but will be vastly negated by having Edge will probably, I think Edge starts with this by this level should have image with your blink casters is relatively safe for the most part.
Yeah, no, this should be fine. It's just a little bit ruder than many other bosses would be here. Fleury does get Baigen down. Behind Baigen we have King Queen Eblan. Well, that's just extra free. And now Fleury has Porum. Are we taking Porum?
A little late, but it still probably might still be replace Tella because Tella might not last us to get Blink off. That's kind of the thing. And
yeah, okay, we're getting rid of Tella. We've already done all the areas where we need float, so this makes complete sense. We don't need Tella utility anymore whatsoever.
Rosa around a little over like 1,000 HP. Level 32 learns float. Porum learns float at like level 40, which is it's don't bother.
Quite a bit later.
You don't wait for when you have Porum. You don't wait for certain spells like float. Those don't enter to any equation.
At least this Porum is going to have blink right away. That is nice.
Yeah, I mean that's a kind of nice convenience. The Porm didn't fall, so that's I mean, with King Queen Eblan, that's always free. That's always been free, pretty much most places, unless you'll have like maybe starting character.
Unless you're trying to do like Mount Hobbs and Mount Hobbs and your party is like Edward and Rydia, and then like Palom shows up. And then they still do like 60 damage with their fire 2s, and you're like, oh no. And that is a pan. So that's a chain from the dwarfs. What is in the sealed cave? A rat tail. More key items that we don't need.
Well, we do, but reaches 10 key items though.
That's nice, I guess, but Fleury really just needs to get back to Eblan Castle.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for. I mean, at this point, having the levels will make Eblan Castle easier, but at this point, it's like kind of one of those spots that you just sometimes you just can't fade. There's a some temptation to fade Mount Ordeals because you don't have a Tella or you don't expect D-Mist to be there. But with Eblan, especially at large, having 3 key items, three key items just on the table, just hard to do the math to skip it.
At this point, it's very hard to fade Eblan Castle this long. It's such a fast series of checks, and we know that the Tower of Zod is hard required. There is no way that Fleury can finish this seed without completing the Tower of Zod.
I mean, eventually it might end up doing like keyless tower at this point.
We'll see.
That might be the hole that Fleury is digging into.
The Sylphs are going to give us a strength ring. Thanks, Sylphs. We don't need that.
We picked up a Zeus glove at the Dark Elf spot.
We got a Zeus glove from Harp. We're good.
Well, we could give it to Rydia. I mean,
that's true. We could give the strength ring to Rydia.
Only adult.
We're inclined to let Rydia hit things. I mean, she is an adult now.
Yeah,
dwarf.
But it's like, I mean, Judgejoe hasn't done. I don't think has done. Hasn't done Dwarf Castle, so that strength ring can't be used on young Rydia.
No,
there's a difference.
We do find out there's another Rydia on the moon, just in case.
Just in case you weren't sure that you had Blarg, but did Judgejoe peak cave value? It's kind of interesting just to go down.
Judgejoe is done with cave value.
Oh, God. I missed.
It's already over. Oh, it was Ogo.
It's fast.
Ogo is dead. Remember?
Yeah. I'm blanking out. There's too much race to go. Well, it's gonna end soon with. At least sooner or later with Joe.
Unfortunately, Sheila just gives a Moonveil, so Fleury is now down to Tower and Eblan, I think. Those are the only 2 options left, other than D-Mist hunting, which it looks like he's decided to go D-Mist hunting. I mean, to be fair, we have not seen D-Mist on either runner stream. Well, never mind, there's D-Mist. Wonderful. Okay, I guess we found D-Mist.
Wished it into existence. That's just how it works.
Sure. Why not? Just go to Waterfall and stumble across D-Mist. So this is another check that Fleury can do.
Might be the hook. At this point, it might just be the hook. I don't know.
I don't want it to be the hook, though.
It could, they're just so
That's such a time sink.
I know. That's
because that's not just turning in the rat tail, that's also going down the hook route, checking the chests in Cave Eblan and Upper Babel. Okay, it's a crystal shield. We're fine. Fleury is now down to Tower and Eblan Castle.
Fleury is kind of wondering where could that key item be. There's a kind of a chance that Fleury had faded Castle Eblan? No, this is.
Nope, we are going underground. We are headed to the tower.
So, I think Fleury might have lost.
I have to imagine this fade is intentional at this point, because Fleury bounced off of it early and just hasn't wanted to go back. And unfortunately, one of those chests just happens to be. happens to gate 3 objectives. Anyway, we have Leviathan here with the Moss Altar. This isn't super threatening. The Ice 2s are kind of scary, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, the Ice 2 is will do the most damage. I mean, it's like having a Magus Sisters at this spot. The level 2 elementals, while not usually impactful, but at this spot there's a super high spell stat that Ogo doesn't really need, but does impact the damage. So we'll reach levels that you usually don't see from a level 2 elemental. So, and you see, see that 2k, 2.5k damage? Yeah, that's a lot.
These Ice 2s hurt a lot.
It's fine. The Leviathan, not usually a difficult chore. I mean, you got Blarg, Palom's already learned Lit 3.
Oh, hey, I don't think we had enough Holy Swords, so there's a Crystal Sword in Lower Babel.
Such generosity.
Yes, we're so excited. We get a whole Crystal Sword.
Well, I mean, Caesar could be in the Giant. That could be a thing.
Yeah, I guess. So he could be in the hook route. That's also an option.
That is an awesome option. But shouldn't be too long. Judgejoe will probably Lit 2 for a kill.
I guess we take the Murasame. That's nice. We'll take some Hanzo. Judgejoe should be pretty close to... Oh, there it is. That's Leviathan down.
And GG's to Judgejoe for completing the seat. That was a... I mean... I'm sure that Fleury is wondering what if just that opening start had kind of, sometimes as a runner when you've messed up early on for the rest of the seed, when you play catch up, you might make
another Excal. Oh, Fleury. But yeah, that is Judgejoe taking this race home as our winner with an official time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 7 seconds. GG's to Judgejoe, and we'll see about getting him in here for an interview.
Yep. I mean, kind of gambled right. Although I think there was an early Zot peak. But outside of that was a pretty clean seed. And really went his way. Even with some struggles early on, I think at Baron Inn.
Yeah, and it looks like we are now joined by Judgejoe. GG's.
Thank you. I was very nervous the moment I got Darkness Crystal.
Oh, yeah. Walk us through that. What was going through your mind as you get through the Tower of Zot and then suddenly go mode?
I did a whole lot of stuff on this overworld, and it wasn't necessarily that fast. And I could very, very easily see a world where someone 15-minute, 20-minute mark does Eblan gets the Earth Crystal? Oh, hey, objective. Does Earth Crystal gets Darkness? Oh, hey, go mode, easily 15 to 20 minutes before I ended up in go mode. I could see it being the case. So I was trying to just as fast as I could and hope that either some bosses were difficult enough to give Fleury trouble or just that I could squeak out.
Yeah, fortunately for you, Fleury went to Eblan a little too early and bounced off it and then never went back. Has still not gone back as we are speaking now.
Yeah, and that even though Darkness isn't required,
it's not technically, but that Zot
is required.
Because Zot is required. You have to get through the Tower of Zot no matter what.
Now I have no clue where the other part of Forge or Tower Key ended up. I did not.
We have not seen either of those either. We've seen a rat tail and a hook. And a Luca key, that was behind the DKC that you baited.
Well, you see, I was like, oh, I'm fast enough, I'll just Gear 2 attack, Gear 2 attack.
The trouble with that is that you don't have enough health.
And I'm like, oh well, I'll come back. Or apparently I won't.
Yeah, no, you were not coming back. It's fine. It was a Luca key. No one needs a Luca key.
Yeah.
Not with 3 warp casters.
Yeah. No, it was a really interesting seed. There were some really
can I
interesting
say-
divergence, and then some nice convergence as you both went and did ordeals at the same time.
Oh, did harp at the same time?
Not quite. No, the harp checks were staggered. But you both
because
did
I think I
harp.
did Evelyn before harp, but can I say that was the saddest Rydia I've ever had. That was so sad.
They gave you Bahamut.
Where's the tiaras, pork robes, black shirts?
I don't know.
Anything other than the elven bow that I chose not to buy?
I mean, I will say Fleury had that elven bow and it did a lot of work, and then Stardust Rods showed up in Dwarf Castle. And
Yeah, so one of those 2 underground shops I didn't get around to check.
Yeah.
And I went like, go, go, go. I don't.
and then I think also found
Really?
tiaras somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, Tiara was also in Dwarf.
Also underground.
Yes, Tiara was also, Tiara was in Tamra, so yeah. Those other 2 shops had everything you needed.
You know,
for you.
plus 25 wisdom does a Bahamut. It turns it from 3,500 to 7,000.
Yes, it's
Or
quite
more.
good.
Would have sped up the antlion a lot.
Oh well, you got through it well enough.
So, the most recent seed I played or watched had that exact Fey March. So when I saw that Fey March, I'm like, oh, that was in the very, very, very last seed I played or watched.
I think we may have seen the same seed.
But no, that Fey March was fine. It just make it so Rose was a little slower. I
Yeah.
have 5 glass hats as well. You see, there was no power shirts, heroine robes, mage gear on the overworld. So, gotta spend my money somewhere.
That's true.
And can we talk about that walk to the Fey March? Every chest, and I still only had 40,000 gold afterwards.
Amazing.
I did not. It was terrible.
No, you don't
apparently.
need money. It's fine. Just don't. No money.
Well, you see, apparently I was done shopping.
Yeah. Also, we have news from the spoiler log. The adamant was in the last arm chest, so you couldn't forge without the darkness crystal.
Yeah.
Because of course.
I don't think that's going to be on most runners' radars with these bosses. They weren't
No.
bad. They were
They
fine.
really weren't that bad. I mean, Ogo was like slightly rude, but yeah. I feel like all the bosses this seed were like rude-ish.
Rude and
Like
right before
better
the
than
game,
average, but not
the
like
moment we saw it with a Rosa here, I'm like, ooh, a white maid. I'll take that. Fleury
Yeah.
mentioned. Was hoping to prevent us from having the Blink and Berserk caster because, well, that's kind of one of my specialties is to take someone who can Zerk and a Blink caster and a pile of life potions and hope and to squeeze through some fights.
Mhm.
It's fun.
I mean, the seed was like, okay, you can have 2 blink casters.
Oh no. We had
We could have 3 if you really wanted to,
Blink
but,
casters available.
like, who wants Tella
Not with
that late?
how everyone else was incredibly good.
No, like, yeah, no. Looking at the rest of the party, who wants Tella? Also, surprise, Kane was our 7th character.
I mean, there was an Avenger. in this seed.
Yay!
Yeah. If
There
you turned
was.
in the rat tail by doing the warp glitch in Dwarf Castle and getting the hook out of a lower Babel trap chest, you could have an Avenger for your Kane that was on the hook route. Doesn't that sound worthwhile?
No. Like
Yeah.
as Titanic felt, this seed, it felt like outside of the Baron with the Edge Rydia behind it, although there were other Rydias. But the Baron with the Edge Rydia, besides that, any sort of out-of-your-way thing did not feel worth.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree. Like, the Edge Rydia combo from Baron Castle was really nice. And then after that, it's like, well, I have a full party of 5. I'm good. I don't need extra stuff.
I mean, if I didn't have Edge Rydia, one, I'd get the Rydia from the moon at some point. But it would have been fine. We had Palom, we had Blink Casters, and Ether 2.
It was safe enough. But yeah, that's all the questions I had about the seed.
I don't have too many, but with the seed going the way it is, I think you're the only ones that actually completed package. Those and so ironically, then you stumbled onto my humps and found second Tella. So how I mean, outside obviously having new the package, how was that feeling?
I mean, second Tella was annoying. I was fine with Tella. Package gives your first tier 2 elemental spell, which allows Palom to go and become big and strong. Oh, that's a Pale Dim. Never mind, moving on.
Yeah, the beginning of the seed was kind of rude. It was like, hey, you have a Palom. He's gonna be good, right? No, it's Pale Dim. The one boss.
Oh,
I tried to recall strats. I failed.
Yeah.
It was, but that was. I mean, you had to at least gamble. There's only 8 spells, and only one would actually do something to that Pale Dim. So, at some point, yeah, it made sense to give up on that.
Yep, Rosa's starting gear was good enough.
Yeah,
Bow would have been better, but I didn't expect it to be the one boss that I was just going to go and get a little bit, then buy the Artie Bow. Then it was.
And then it was the actual worst possible boss. Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess it was Ice 2 was the only spell, so technically Mylon Z, but then...
but Mylon Z would have taken double damage from Rosa, so...
And also Cure Pots.
And also, yeah, you had other ways of dealing with Mylon Z.
But is, I think, the only boss I know of that absorbs ice.
Yeah.
Well, there's Ruby, but only.
But that's only half the time.
Yeah,
so
half the time. Yeah.
No, Ruby's who I want to see.
Yeah, no, Ruby is great. Let's throw an Ice 2 out and then he's gone. Goodbye. Yeah, anyway, I think, unless you have any final thoughts, Judgejoe, we will let you get on with your evening.
How'd you like my naming scheme?
I loved it. I'm a little disappointed that Uni didn't make the cut.
That who?
Uni. You know, the playable character?
You know...
But one of the 6 main characters of the game?
Well, there was only so many slots. I almost didn't even have Senna because I was putting Miyabi in that slot, and I went, I'll put Miyabi on Edward. It's fine.
Like, if you're gonna put heroes in, and I approve of a lot of the heroes that you put on there, you could include Yudi. There's only 6 main characters. Like... Yeah.
It's a side effect of me liking the side heroes, and there only being 3 playable female characters in Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah. There's too many good female characters in Xenoblade 3. It's a real problem. Just gender bend people. It's fine.
Well, I hope everyone has a nice night, and I hope that was a really fun race to watch. Thank you guys for commentating, Ali for restreaming this and rolling this lovely seed, and for the tracker as well. It was lots of fun.
Yep.
I'll enjoy watching.
GG's once again.
GG's again, Judgejoe.
Well, it appears that Fleury is taking a good long look at his key item tracker, trying to figure out what he hasn't done yet. He did destroy the super cannon, so he does have an objective done. Hooray. Oh, I think he figured it out. What did you fade?
Baron, though. That's
No,
he didn't do Baron at all.
Baron. No, he did Baron in and Baron Castle.
Oh.
The basement doesn't have a check.
Case sum is not on the menu, so so we're not looking for a key item there. Probably thinking about
like where the heck could this progression be? Because at this point we are down to, I mean, we in the booth know it's the Earth Crystal leading to that Darkness Crystal, and I think Fleury has just remembered. Oh wait, oh shoot, Eblan Castle.
Well, you remember, this was an hour ago. The panic.
This is true. It was over an hour ago that he was here and wiped, and probably wrote it off in his mind.
Yeah, there's something to be said. Sometimes, when you kind of panic reset because there's a trap chest, you can't fight it at the moment. That we gotta go load to save, and then coming back to the intro screen and doing all that again, probably is one of those. It
probably threw. I mean, it's definitely easy to get thrown off for the entire race, just because you're. Yeah, the bad reset. I mean, the bad reset was before Eblan, but it can throw you off. Like getting into that mindset can throw you off, definitely. There's Fleury's crystal. That's not what he's looking for, but it's a key item.
Are we going to Z? Are we going to visit C? We could still. It's still doable. I mean, at this point we don't have the pass, so that's a long walk. So I guess that's not on the table.
Yeah.
Hey, another vanilla trap chest location. I didn't really miss it, but didn't have the vanilla.
Vanilla would be Staleman Skulls here.
But vanilla spot. Yeah. It is vanilla spot still.
Yes. This is trapped in vanilla, just not this particular trap chest. Not that particular encounter.
There are just times where I have seeds I've played. They're just like have that moment where
there's a free Bahamut summon.
Yay! Bahamut after already having Bahamut.
Yay! Okay, Fleury. What's in box number 3? The only check you have left.
Yeah. Although I think you're actually able to use the item orb even if you've used it before.
I think
you can.
I mean, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but you can trigger
I still think we need to implement the feedback the idea that I think has been put forward that if you get a second Bahamut orb and you use the second Bahamut orb, it doubles the spell power of your Bahamut.
That is too much blarg. Bahamut's already stronger than Nuke. You make it, then you're making the spell stronger than Meteo, and I love rocks.
The more Bahamut orbs you use on Rydia, the more power the Bahamut gives. It's great. I can't foresee how this will possibly go wrong. Oh, I love that idea. Second Bahamut orb gives you Wyvern, where you summon Wyvern.
Now that would be a fun change.
Ooh, I do actually kind of like that. Second Bahamut orb makes it instant cast instead of having a spell delay. Doesn't power it up at all. Just gives you instant cast. That could be spicy.
Don't think. I mean, it would probably take some coding to just change existing values, and I don't though. I don't think it's
And
gonna
it does
have
the Witchburn if Witchburn is on. I like it.
Oh, that
I
sounds
like
fun.
this. I
Now
like
that
this
sounds like fun.
idea. It's a way for you to find out what the Witchburn is.
Now that sounds like fun.
But you have to use 2 Bahamut orbs. And also that means that using this, and I think you can use a 3rd Bahamut orb to change it back to Mega Nuke if you want to do that. Yeah, 3rd Bahamut orb switches it back. So that after you use the 2nd Bahamut orb and you find out that, oh, this just casts like Ice 1. I don't want that. I want Mega Nuke. Use 3rd Bahamut orb to toggle it back.
Now, see, that sounds like fun.
Yes.
I approve of this. Now,
So then it's like, do you want to check the Witchburn or do you want to like wait?
I think the only thing that I would have an actual issue is if it breaks something, like there are some
It's fine.
there are some spells like there's a retreat spell.
I don't know how it would handle retreat. That's fair.
But if you want to go out with a bang,
I assume retreat would just end up getting treated like exit where it doesn't work in non-runnable fights.
Hey, would you like to end the seed with fission?
Oh, explode. Fission, yes.
That would be
Oh my
glorious.
gosh. Turn on Be Unsafe. Find out that your Bahamut summon now casts Big Bang. Let Rydia Big Bang. Let Rydia cast Big Bang, please.
I completely approve of this. I mean, I actually I do like the principal idea of although you know what, if it does the chain explode, like we could instantly kill Z with this modified wyvern, like
I don't think that's, unfortunately I don't think that's a Witchburn.
Oh, the chain. Oh, okay. That makes sense because there's nothing to chain to.
I think if it rolls white all, it does work off her will stat, but also Rydia's will stat is good enough that it's fine. Oh my gosh, this change will never actually happen, but
I know, but I love the idea.
It is a great idea. Anyway, Fleury has like found his Earth Crystal and is going through the Tower of Zot. Hey, look, it's 2 Porums and a Palom. We have triplets.
We also have another problem. It's not even triplets; it's quadruplets.
Oh yes. Well, we had triplets on screen because
that is true. Visually, yeah, they have spawned and expanded. It's its own universe.
Yes. Now we just have to deal with this bomb, which is kind of bad if it explodes, but also honestly not really at this point. We have enough levels, so this is fine.
I mean, you have Blarg, and Blarg chews HP too, so it's pretty. It's more just a matter of time. When you reach a certain amount of damage that you can just outright take out Bomb without going into explode phase.
This is gonna be fine. Blarg is gonna do so much damage. Edge will probably finish it off pretty soon.
But at least Fleury has full Hanzo steel on display. Mura, Manza. Though kind of curious what Forge would have been, because we have not stumbled onto the Adamant Rock.
We're not going to see the Adamant Rock, I don't think, with where it is. It's fine. It's just either Perseus Bow or Perseus Arrows, which are both Rosa exclusives.
Yeah, no one can use the arrows. The more important, well, outside of Rosa, but like the Perseus Bow is really just the staff stick, like a life staff stick, but in bow form, which is kind of nice in a way. But Fleury realizes,
and now Fleury finds out that Zot was triple required, and you were not going to get out of doing Zot, which means you can't get out of doing Eblan Castle.
Yeah.
So it's time to go burn Mist because we still need to do that, and then it's boss rush time.
Yeah.
On the bright side, Fleury does get to skip one of our bosses.
Haven't because at this point, probably still do full King Queen Eblan at that point. And Megan probably could also fade at line if he so desires, though.
I would say probably what gets faded is the Masamune altar, just because it's a hassle to walk to, but...
That too. That is, yeah. Sometimes, I mean, we have enough power to take on any boss, so it's so it becomes a distance issue, like routing. You want shortest distance between 2 points. So, yeah, don't want to go out of the way. LST walk 3 minutes, at least 3 minutes, like, and then you have to do the fight. So that's 5-minute event. Not worth that extra time.
Yeah, it's I mean, we are gonna have to raise the whale anyway, at least, so that's not too much extra, but it's still a bit of a long walk compared to going down to the Fey March. Plus the cutscene to get Rydia in the Lunar Dais. So yeah, we can just not do that.
Yeah, so we'll make the Fey March trip. No, raising the whale. Might as well get a moment in order to figure out what order to do all the things. So, darkness. We still keep the small speech and animation. So it's still nice, and obviously that time's like just even the the Baron pot walk after defeating whoever's at the Kanazo spot. Always the minutes that you don't have control over characters is always a good time to plan out your next move.
Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, this is not a bad time, all things like considering Fleury cleared every single check on the blue planet. There is not a single check left on the blue planet that has not been cleared, other than the Mist Cave boss, but we don't care about the Mist Cave boss. This is really not a bad time.
Do you think maybe Fleury will go to Z just instead of Ogo? I mean, not to say that'll happen, but
I don't think so.
It would be nice if that happened.
We do still have to beat the Fey March bosses, but it looks like Fleury is headed to Cape Bahamut. I don't hate doing Cape Bahamut first. Cape Bahamut's kind of rude in this circumstance, but we will get through it.
So I mean, yes, seeing Ogo here and then Leviathan at Ogo. I mean, it's not quite Double Dragon, but it kind of.
It's noodles.
They are two.
We got the noodles.
So can we
go to the Fey March for Antlion and Golbez and come to the moon for noodles?
I wonder if we can coin a new phrase for the noodle pair, like the naughty noodles. I don't know. It's a fun pair. I mean, especially if like something like, Leviathan into Ogo at Dwarf or Baron 1. Baron in those are fun.
I mean, these are the lunar noodles.
So this is so we'll try to get Palom. Doesn't look like Palom's gonna get involved.
We're linking up. We're gonna toss some Cure 2 pots to keep us. Oh my, Seafood Mountain. Yes, we have seen Seafood Mountain, which is Ogo and Levy. I think it was Levy into Ogo into Octomam.
Nazo might not be a bad replacement.
Nazo would not be a bad fourth boss to throw in that pool. But yeah, we're just doing it. Oh, this Ogo fight's pretty standard. We're blinking up. We're tossing Cure 2s to keep people up. Edge is doing damage because Edge is the only one who doesn't get counterattacked. If we try to use magic on Ogopoko will counter with a blaze attack, which is actually Ice Elemental. Don't question it.
Yeah, the visual, a lot of spells betray its visuals. It's the spell used by chimeras or manticores. The monsters there are like Pale Dim, but are kind of arguably nastier than them in terms of offense. there's also, but also, yeah, that the only real Ogo threat is really just the dual waves when you catch any character under half their HP, or even a character in critical status with just one big wave is enough.
Yeah, the big waves are the big threat here. They do 50% if you get two. Well, they each do 25%. Sometimes Ogo does two, sometimes Ogo does one. The punches are also very scary at this spot, which is why we are using Blink to mitigate those. Rosa is helping out on the DPS side of things. Yeah, Palom can take a nap. We don't really need him that much.
It's fine. Yeah. There's, as long as Edge is swinging, you're fine. And Ogre does blade for both any magic, most elemental magic, lightning being the exception, and summons. So, Rydia, just biding her time, really.
Yep, we do get a defense sword for that cane or for throwing. Probably for throwing. Oh, that's right. Fleury has like 4 Excals to throw. So, yeah. Antlion is probably going to have a real good time.
I mean, Antlion didn't make that its daily trip to the moon, so kind of needs to be punished a little bit. Just with all the Excals acquired.
I don't think it would have made a difference if Antlion had gone to the moon this year.
That is also true. It doesn't really matter where Antlion is.
It does not matter. 4 Excals kind of destroys every boss except like the element spot.
Well, element spot is the tankiest of all spots, so
yes, no, you need 7 Excals to get through that one.
But yeah, but having seen everything in the seed, could be it could be interesting. Well, outside of obviously doing the bosses, maybe we'll see something a little bit different. Maybe we'll definitely probably see Size instead of Piggy. Edge is the only berserker really in the party, so we probably might see Size. So our spellcasters are still effectively online.
Yeah, we'll see what Fleury decides to do.
Spoon was at the Flame Dog chest. That
oh yes, I believe
ago.
that was what it was. Yeah. So I think Fleury did do the Flame Dog chest.
Yeah, it's what I think.
I don't know.
Think so.
We are equipping up a ribbon and some white arrows. I think the samurai arrows are still better for Golbez because Golbez doesn't have a 4.
It's holy and fire
Golbez is only a 2 times weakness to holy and not a 4 times weakness.
Yeah, it does help to have a lot of arrows late, although sometimes not as some arrows are not as useful than others.
Yeah, just the base power on the white arrows is so low.
I mean, you have to. The only time white arrows really shine is if you exploit a racial weakness.
Yes, they're very like Dark Elf. They're very good for Dark Elf. They're great. Lunars, Mylon Z. Oh, Mylon Z they destroy.
Oh yeah, Mylon Z.
Try using white arrows against Mylon Z. It's basically like using a crystal sword.
Sir, but not. I mean, it's a little weaker on the elements version.
Yeah, not quite as strong on the elements version, but will still do great damage to elements Mylon form. But yeah, I think the white arrows, since they only have about 15 base attack power, I want to say
it's pretty low. I don't.
I think it's 15 base attack power for white arrows.
Arrows are
and a ×2 weakness makes them basically as good as like poison arrows here.
Well, a lot of that depends on the bow. Like if you have Artemis, it helps a lot. Like when you have weak arrows, then you really have to exploit the weaknesses. If you're not exploiting the weaknesses, then it's just a terrible a terrible weapon add-on essentially.
Yeah. But I think here it would be more effective to use a better bow, or a better set of like Sammy arrows or Artie arrows than white arrows for this fight.
Yeah, raw.
We're only doing like 1,700 damage.
Yeah, most of the power really does come from the arrows, even though the bow helps, but it's like it doesn't scale as well as an Artemis.
White arrows have 10 attack power. Yeah, no, they're not doing well. Right, fire ice lit is 15. White arrows are 10. So yeah, no, you don't. The samurai arrows would absolutely be better, but it doesn't matter. Fleury is through Golbez. Gets the Bahamut orb, because why not? We need more Bahamuts. That'll, if we had our silly idea, that would let him toggle his Bahamut back to Mega Nuke from whatever the witch burn. Oh, Tornado.
Which would ironically have
Tornado would have been kind of bad, honestly, since it's based on Rydia's HP.
You almost want Demist instead at that point.
Yeah, no, like something that does 10% of Rydia's HP, like, wow.
I think it's much less. I think it's
I think it's
less.
10%.
I think it's about like 4. It's like 4 or 5%.
Oh, is it really that bad? Wow.
Yeah, it's not as it's like it's like wave. That's the.
Okay. Yeah, 4%. Oh, that is rough.
I mean, hey, I mean, there's just boss spots where Tornado would be a nice tickle, like at Antlion Cave. So, so
This is true. Yeah.
So not really concerned about counter the counter kind of the spell, the monster spell. You still do damage, but it's not the biggest threat. It's just the punching at this spot that is the threat. So Blink gets most value there.
Yep, and we have 4 X-Cows to throw, so we're going to throw all of them. They do 7,000 damage apiece. That's not quite enough to finish this spot off, but that's going to be the majority of the damage that we need here.
Yeah, it's fine. It is a kind of surprisingly tanky spot. I mean, consider that Leviathan naturally is weak to lightning. Like we're talking about extra weak. So
I think
having
it's just times 2 weak to lightning.
I'm almost sure it's like I'm thinking Odin.
Odin is
super
times
weak.
4. Leviathan, I think, is only times 2.
But it's a really tanky spot because of that
yeah, you're expected to exploit the weakness, so it is quite a tanky spot, and so we've got to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's also why this spot as a whole is often faded by runners. Like if especially given the spot, you either fade it or you just kind of be the last boss. If you have to do it, then fine, so be it. But you don't. But taking care of the Antlion.
We are through Antlion, Fleury, and with that, I believe, and the Vanilla Leviathan summon.
Again, this seed has plenty of jokes.
That is GG's for Fleury, finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 7 seconds, and we'll see about getting it. Oh, we are now joined by Fleury. GG's.
GG's. Thank you. I appreciate y'all sticking around.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
plan, and it panned out in the worst possible way it could have, but...
Yeah, it was... I mean, it was heartbreaking just seeing, like, you go to Eblan Castle, you clearly were trying to get those swoon procs, and then it just wasn't working. And then
that one was the very beginning, right? But I mean, it just goes to show, like, for anybody, if there's people actually watching still, and you're worried about you just started, or maybe this is your first tournament, and you're worried about, what happens if I make like a silly mistake? Everybody makes those mistakes at some point in
Absolutely.
time. It happens to everybody. So it's going to happen when you're new. It's going to happen when you're 200 races in. It's going to happen when you're 2,000 races in, and if I was to be upset about every time I made a silly mistake, I'd spend every seed being upset. So laugh it off. Try to make it up by getting the swoon procs. I didn't think Palom was going to be fast enough with an assassin dagger to have an empty ATB on them.
Yeah,
but gave it a shot, but
was
ended up really not mattering. Like, I still went with my plan, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, just unfortunately, 4 objectives were gated by Eblan Castle.
Yeah. So, just to give like a summary of what the idea was going in here. Obviously, I've watched Joe race a lot in a couple of different randomizers, and I believe his strength is that if there is a direct path from start to finish, he is going to be very aggressive and very fast. And if I try to do a straight out foot race against him, it's probably not going to work out well. So the plan was, there's 3 or 4 locations where I need the Darkness Crystal to be. I'm going to bet on Darkness Crystal being either at Music, at Ordeals, at Sylph Cave, or Baron Castle.
The funny thing is, Joe did Ordeals, Music, and Baron.
Yeah. he knows me pretty well too.
He did all 3 of those checks. You were synced up on Ordeals. I think you got to Music a little bit before he did, because he went off to Eblan Castle after Ordeals. And then he had done Baron earlier, which gave him that Rydia and edge for the Ordeals fights.
Right. So yeah, that was the plan. And unfortunately, it turned out everything was behind the very last check I made.
Yes.
So,
everything is in that last chest in Eblan Castle. It's just the Earth Crystal, which leads to the Darkness Crystal, and then the Adamant was in the last arm.
Like, if there were awful bosses at the Feymarch, I could have just did last arm and like, I only had 2 checks left for
that. It was like, at that point, if the bosses were really that rude, it would have been just like, oh, okay, we're just gonna do last arm and hair dryers. One of these is gonna give the Adamant.
Yeah, exactly. So, hopefully, Scythe Marshal and I kind of joke around that we have a tendency to full clear seeds, and it was my turn this week, but yeah, I mean, like, that was the plan. It just, everything was behind the last thing I checked. That's just how it's gonna roll sometimes.
Yeah, I do want to just shout out that DKC fight, because that was
how many run buffers
that was amazing. Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna get through this without seeing a dark wave, because I think a dark wave there would have just taken out everyone but Tella, and Tella would have maybe survived with like 10 hit points.
Yeah, I was a little concerned because each run buffer does div 1 tick of the ATV, and if you're gonna burn 1 or 2, that's okay. There's a large speed gap there, but I was concerned that I was doing too much of it. But once I got 2 shots off, and I got like the 2,000 damage in, oh my god, I think we're fine. Let's just keep doing it. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
No, it was really cool to see, because Joe went in there with a little bit more HP, but not a lot more HP than you, and it did not go well because there was no real agility advantage for him, and he bounced off it and never went back.
Wasn't a big deal.
I mean, that made that whole run buffering time really impressive. It's like, this is not the ideal. No, your average runner, even a veteran runner, doesn't go this length to just run buffer all the things. That was I just couldn't have imagined it working. And it's like, here's the example, and That was.
I will say we were all really. I'm still disappointed that music didn't have the darkness crystal because the song was the moon. Come on.
I mean, you could argue outside of. I mean, I think we're probably all biased to Final Fantasy music, but if you were going to ask what is the greatest song in all of video games, there's probably a list of about 10 to 15 answers, and the moon theme is one of them. So yeah. Shout outs to Penguinator. He's the one who kind of taught me how to run buffer and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to get something impressive for y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a real treat to watch. And there were definitely certain fights that did go faster for you than Judgejoe. The start of because Joe didn't go underground until he was in go mode. So you getting underground and finding the Stardust rods, the tiaras, that sort of
that
wisdom gear was really huge, actually. For your
it turns
run.
out with the Stardust rod and tiara, Bahamut's pretty good.
Yeah, Joe never had either of those items. Joe had no wisdom boosting gear on Rydia the whole seed.
I mean, even without it, Bahamut's still pretty good.
Bahamut's still pretty good, but
I think I had only one quick question. I mean, obviously you knew your opponent Joe a bit, and would you have had any thought to do Baron like just early, like not Baron in? I'm saying Castle Baron. Because I think you had a character deficit for a little bit. It wasn't a detrimental. It was just his seed sped up quite a bit having visited Baron Castle.
Yeah, I do kind of think that Baron Castle is one of the more inefficient checks, but with that starting party, like, kind of want a little bit of, I don't know, more strength in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, yeah, that was the edge of you stand Ruby for edge.
Yeah, that's really what kind of set the seed off, and the Bahamut was just kind of like the cherry on top. I'm generally not crazy about doing Baron Castle on this flag set, but I think it's a defensible play either way. My goal was to do the time inefficient checks against Joe, and that is definitely one of them. So it was one of the checks I had in mind that I wanted to do and hope to get like a jackpot off that, but we got one in a different way.
Yeah, those characters were definitely nice. And like Rydia showed up elsewhere, but I don't think we ever saw another edge.
I don't think so either.
But yeah, it is getting late, so I will let you go. Unless you have any final things you want to say.
No, appreciate y'all sticking this out. I know commentary is tricky in and of itself, but commentating a race, and let's be honest, I lost by 40 minutes or so, is rough to do sometimes. So I really appreciate y'all sticking this out, and anybody who's still watching, really appreciate sticking it out.
It's okay. We came up with a new wacky flag.
Fair enough. So yeah, thanks y'all. Really appreciate the work that goes into this, and I'll be our team still has got a shot. It's 1-1, so I'll be cheering on Fall Grand tomorrow to carry me through.
GG's again, Fleury, for that performance. At least I had a good, decent highlight, and that
there you go.
Yeah, and speaking of that matchup tomorrow, we are done for tonight, but I do want to give a quick shout out to our lineup of races tomorrow. Falgren versus Mr. JRPG is going to be happening at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Free Enterprise 2 channel. And then at 4 p.m. we have another one of our twin casts where we have two simultaneous 1v1 races. Nitsi from Bold Strategy versus Nakuri from Rudu Attitude, and Flossifern from Team No Springs versus Bangagong from the Silvera Petting Zoo at 4 p.m. Eastern. On right here on the Free Enterprise Prime channel.
Wait, that sounds like a lot of fun. I need to keep...
Oh yeah, and these are all going to be very hype matches, so you're going to want to tune in tomorrow for all of the races that we have. But that will do it for us on this restream, I believe. We are going to be headed over to Tall Grant, who, I don't know what he's doing. Something.
Probably a potion party. Probably potion party seed, because
probably potion party, something Free Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yes, potion party practice. It is an async, active async. Async code SJDXDH in case anyone wants to dodge that. But yeah, we are doing it's potion party practice. Tall Grant also has a race tomorrow that is not getting restreamed, but you can feel free to pull that up also at 4 p.m. Eastern. We just had too many races at 4 p.m. Eastern. We couldn't feature them all.
Yep. So just make sure enjoy the seed and make sure you don't spoil this seed to anyone.
Yes, no spoilers, please. We have newspapers and we're not afraid to use them.
This includes the async that's being run, so don't spoil. But enjoy your night and have a good one, and see you all next seed.